To the set, getting some last-minute reports, and you're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. We're coming to you today live from the Newsmax headquarters in Midtown Manhattan. Coming to you as we do every day from the Question Tequila Studios. And at the studios today, we have a winner of a show for you because Howie Carr's on vacation, and the Liquid Lunch bunch is going to extend today for 2 hours. So we're going to be with you for most of the first half of your afternoon, and from right here in Midtown Manhattan. And downtown at the New York Stock Exchange, there are still some fears. The week's ending on a little bit of a down note as it looks now midday in the markets. Dow's down 250. Nice recovery yesterday. Some buying came in towards the end of the day, which rocked the market up a little bit. It was a sell program at the close, and the Dow was down 250. And everyone is really concerned with the devaluation of the Chinese currency, and more fears every day about tariffs and all this other stuff. And Bitcoin seems to be stabilized right here at 12,000, and it's always stable. In the studio, when I have my right-hand man with me, Frank Morano joins me. Hey, Frank, let's see. Good afternoon in the East.
I know. You need a decoder ring. We may as well just start saying hello.
Yeah.
Instead of good afternoon or good morning.
I try to, say something a little different than
yeah, well, hey, absolutely. Your chair seems taller than mine today. There you go. There you go.
Be lower?
No, yeah.
Your camera seems too zoomed out.
Oh,
today.
well,
I think that's it.
Well, a lot of people are attributing my newly found extra headroom to my new shorter haircut. They're saying
true.
that I was framed for a larger hairstyle, and now that I've diminished my hair, the camera
there you
has.
are.
Yeah,
oh wow, that's it. You look good in that angle.
Thank you.
I mean,
that's right. Hey. I see a lot of you wondering why my shoes seem to smell of vomit this morning. I want to apologize to our viewers for that, but a big thank you on a related note to the Manhattan Institute for making their summer soiree an open bar last night. And I want to thank especially their communications senior vice president or wherever she is, Michelle Jacob, for deciding to go premium. She said she went premium with us in mind. Had a great time at the Manhattan Institute party last night. A lot of Newsmax folks there, our editor-in-chief, Ken Chandler, and our opinion editor, Nick Sanchez, whose name in all candor I didn't remember until he reintroduced himself to someone yesterday at the party. So a good time had by all, except for my fiance, who had many unreturned text messages during the after party. It was a good time. A lot of news. The president is on his way here to New York. We're going to tell you all about what he said as he boarded the airplane. He had quite a bit to say on a variety of subjects, ranging from China, but none of those are what I'm speaking, frankly, about. So I don't usually make a habit of commenting on what goes on rival cable news networks because we're competing with them, and usually we don't like rival news networks to be the subject of the news. But there's one issue that I absolutely cannot remain silent about, and maybe it's going to get me in trouble here. It wouldn't be the first time. Did you see what Tucker Carlson said last night? No. Of course you didn't, because he wasn't on the air. Just like a lot of other Fox News media personalities, he went on a midweek surprise vacation. Now, you remember what happened with Bill O'Reilly, who you can see on the weekends right here on this network. When he went on a vacation in the midst of controversy and advertiser boycotts, he never came back. We saw similar boycotts leading to a Laura Ingraham vacation, a Sean Hannity vacation. So what is the controversy involving Tucker Carlson now? Well, a couple of nights ago,
hoax.
He claimed that white supremacy was a hoax. Now, maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. My suggestion is, why don't we have a debate about that? Why don't we have a discussion about that? And if you don't like what Tucker Carlson says, just like if you don't like what John Tobacco says, my suggestion is you change the channel. Instead, the very same Twitter mob that was able to get the newspaper of record, the New York Times, to change their front page headline because they were outraged, is now leading a campaign to have Tucker Carlson fired for his comments. And that has led to a midweek surprise vacation. Tucker claims that this vacation was scheduled long before this Twitter outrage and this boycott Tucker campaign and this fire Tucker campaign. Well, if you believe that, we we have a very reasonable price on several New York bridges that we're going to sell you. This is outrageous. The fact that the Twitter mob, and look, I say this as a populist, the fact that the Twitter mob has so much control over what mainstream news organizations should do is absolutely frightening. This is America. We're in the First Amendment business. It's the First Amendment for a reason. We shouldn't be okay with government censorship, and we shouldn't be okay with censorship by Twitter mob. Let's end this. You don't agree with what Tucker Carlson says? Debate him. Explain why.
Tune out.
Forget about these boycotts. John, heaven forbid people paid close enough attention to what we were saying on a daily basis. We'd be boycotted every day.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that. And, you know, there's just a strange psychology going on in our world right now, and then definitely in our nation. And everybody keeps talking about division, Frankie, but the division is really happening by the left-wing media, because every little thing they exacerbate into this whole big, it's like a modern-day lynch mob.
Well,
except it's an invisible hand.
But you know what, though? Even the left-wing media isn't immune to the criticisms of the Twitter mob. You saw how the New York Times caved, right? So the New York Times printed an op-ed the other day that said maybe the world isn't ending in 12 years due to climate change. And they had protesters outside of their office. So nobody's safe. Nobody on the left, nobody on the right. People need to chill out. Right? So you don't like what somebody in the media says?
Take a chill pill.
Write a letter to the editor.
Yeah,
go on YouTube and explain
why. Take a chill pill.
Yeah.
Relax. I mean, look, our main effort here at Liquid Lunch and Newsmax TV is to make TV great again. And whether or not Tucker Carlson ever comes back, I don't care. Because we want to be on the top of the mountain.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't care if Tucker comes back. That's one less guy we have to deal with at some point in the future. But I understand your point that everyone can't keep caving in to this, you know, pseudo. It's like a pseudo lynch mob, like the old days. You know, they would go after people and with the torches and drag them into the town square. And that's what's happening now on Twitter, and no one's accountable for it.
That's right. So the message of today is, if you don't like what's happening in the media, whether it's on Fox News or on the front page of the New York Times, just get enough people on Twitter to threaten a boycott and to say so, and get a lot of retweets, because all of these major multimedia news organizations are going to cave. And that's why we're very lucky to be here on Newsmax TV, where we have a network that facilitates free speech and encourages free speech and doesn't censor everything that we do based on the whims of a Twitter mob. At least not yet.
Well, look, hopefully we can put out content, Frank, that keeps the Twitter mob away from us. And our following isn't that big yet, but
That's
I
right.
could say one wrong thing, and we could have all the wrong followers.
We're the few but the proud.
Trying to make all the right moves, and of course we're making all the right moves today because we're doing an extra hour.
Wow.
We got a bonus
We should do
hour
something
today.
really controversial in that
Yeah,
hour.
we should.
Gonna burn a Quran or something?
Well, no, we're going to get to, we're going to be
Just
introduced
joking.
to
Just joking,
Howie
everybody.
Carr's audience. And, you know, I believe in the second hour we'll have the guy who precedes us on Newsmax, Brent Winterbull, will be with us also. And a few weeks ago, we had on Elena Servideo Schwinn. She's a medium, she's a mystic, she's a sorceress.
Bicycle heiress.
Maybe the heir to the Schwinn bicycle fortune. But I was resisting her energy that day, if you remember.
Yeah,
she was trying to read me.
So just so people know what went on here, she had a dead-on reading of John, right? So, and those of you that don't know John off camera, I can't tell you how much time John spends thinking about, talking about, remembering his dad. His dad, who passed away, very important person, like many fathers are to us. And John thinks about his dad all the time. And so the first thing she said was that his dad was here. And now, how would she know that John's dad had passed away. He's never mentioned it on air.
I thought
it's
you
not
might have
easily
looked it up.
Googleable.
You might have looked it
so
up in
he
the
says to
obituary.
me off air, now, come on, I never spoke with this woman before in my life. He says to me off air, come on, you probably told her. I didn't say a word to her. So she then nailed me right away. She said I'm at a crossroads with a bunch of career decisions, which I am. And I found her to be, I'm not really a believer in a lot of this stuff, the mediums and things like that, but she has made a believer out of me. She actually gave me a stone to carry, which I have been carrying every day, except today because I overslept because I got to bed very late this morning, and it led to me needing to rush out of the house.
Well, I am going to make up for my past ills and not being very nice to Elena last time. I was resisting her energy. Today we're going to have her back on, and we're gonna open our minds and our hearts and our souls. And she's going to tell us what's happening around our universe with those who have crossed, and maybe we'll get her to come in and even read Robert Hornak a little later on, because Ellis Hennigan and Robert Hornak will be joining us in the Mix It Up segments today. And every day, I don't know if you noticed, but Lamont, can we get the one shot? I'm wearing a purple suit today.
Nice.
The suit is actually purple. I don't know if you could see that at home, but we're always talking to the purple people on this show. Not the reds and the blues who are the zealots on the outside, but we try to bring thoughtful conversation to you and the purple people of America, who are the largest. Frank, there's more people in the center than there are on the edges, as far as I'm concerned.
And you know, I'll be honest, John, I think a lot of people even a lot of people that pay attention to the news, they don't sit there and say, wait a minute, I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal. They just actually look at each issue on its own merits. Well, maybe it is okay to import prescription drugs from Canada, but maybe we also don't want abortion into the 27th trimester, right? So I think most people have an ability to look at all issues and make a decision on issues based on their own merits.
Yeah, you know, we had Mike Lindell on our Sunday show, What's the Deal? And he says, Mike Lindell always says, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, I'm a common sense person. And like you said, on every issue it's a little different, but let's
Well, do a lot of people advertise themselves as not being common sense? Who's the one guy saying, oh yeah, I'm the non-common sense person? It might be Beto O'Rourke the way things are going.
What about this guy, Tom Steyer, who's running for president, who he's got no common sense because he keeps throwing millions and millions of dollars down the drain, and no one even knows who he is still, except the guy in the weird commercials on MSNBC. But Elena Servideo-Schmidt, Ellis Hennigan, Robert Hornak, Pavlina Oster will join us later, and Kate Herman will fake those tweets. We're coming back right after this.